Hey fellas, how you doing? It's Johnny. I thought I'd give you guys a treat. I wanted to put this video out. I wanted to share. I've written some things down, and I wanted to do this video for a long time. It keeps getting mixed up with other ideas, so I just wrote some stuff down so I could explain the video better. And I wanted to title this video "Taking on the Demon and Overcoming Social Anxiety." So for me, this was 2 years ago, where it just got to the stage where I just couldn't take it no more. I just couldn't take being in so much pain and just feeling so disgusting, and just hating myself and hating life, and just having no choice but to say I'm gonna take this on. So just bear with me while I go through this list, and what I've actually did is I've made a list of things. I've made a list of things that I did, and it doesn't have to be in a particular order, of how, basically a game plan that I did, and I did this working with my mentor. I did this over 2 years. Now don't worry, because it took me 2 years to overcome it, but I had a lot of stuff to work on. I had a lot of different personalities, so there's no saying it's gonna take you guys or girls 2 years to overcome your social anxiety. But in all honesty, 2 years is not really a long time. I was suffering this for all my life, over 10 years. So for me, it wasn't really a question of time. It was just a question, I can't take this anymore. I can't feel like this. I can't feel scared of people. I'm sick of being scared of myself. I can't take the feelings no more. And I think it was really the depression that really, it motivated me, because I just thought it's either suicide, which is not an option, because that made me feel really weak. That made me feel more depressed. That just created so much more confusion. So I thought, right, how have I always done things? When I've really wanted to achieve things, I've faced the fear. This is the hardest thing that I've had to do. I think for me it was even, I don't want to say mine was harder than anyone else's, because that could sound a bit like arrogant. I think it was hard for me because I had a reputation as a teacher, and I had done a lot of dishonest stuff, and I had to lose lots of identities. It was difficult for me losing an identity, one that was perceived to be confident, and it was liked, and it was attracting me a lot of validation, as you'd call it. So the first step for me is, I would say this would be for everyone. This is what I've been teaching over the 2 years since I made the change myself. Admitting to the fear. Now, I'm personally going to say this because this is going to make me feel better, and I want to put this out because this is the truth. So first and foremost, admitting to the fear was me going, yeah, I'm actually scared of people. As crazy and as ironic as that sounds, I'm frightened of people. And for all my life, even when I was teaching men how to pick up women 4 years ago now, I didn't realise it, but unconsciously I was scared of people. All my unconscious behaviours were people pleasing, probably being quite aggressive with people, all unknowingly. And this all came from the abuse from my dad. It came from a childhood trauma. I didn't know this. I didn't realise that when I started, especially when I got Jeff's help. He's got a great way of helping you to help yourself, and kind of telling you stuff without actually telling you. I can't explain it, but he's great at doing that. So I actually said, I can't believe it, I'm scared of my mum. I always knew I was scared of my dad, because obviously he bullied me growing up, and that's really where the social anxiety come from, the trauma. Then I said, I'm scared of my friends. I've been letting people manipulate me. I've got no personal boundaries. I'm scared of women. And then my mind was playing tricks on me, because that's what it does. That's what this demon does. It starts saying, it tries to convince you that you're not scared of people, and you're not scared of, basically tries to convince you that you're not scared of, that it's not going on. That's how it survives. I'll come to the demon in a second, and because I know some people, they're going to be like, what, demons, what's he talking about? But let me explain, listen up. So it was admitting to the fear, and I thought, it's even difficult for me to say this on the video, I'm struggling. I thought, right, I'm not fucking around. I need to be brutally honest. What's the fear? I'm scared of being abandoned. And even I thought, and then when I would admit that, the voice would come up and say, oh, come on, You're just trying to seek attention. How could you be scared to be abandoned? You've had sex with lots of different women, and you as a teacher, you was teaching other men how to pick up women. You've global style. That's all this ego was trying to say to me. That's what this demon was saying, because it's a possession, it's a demon. And I believe that's true. When you get traumatized, this is what happens. This is what I learned myself. You get so scared of the person who abused you, you abandon yourself psychologically, spiritually, and yeah, you abandon yourself, and somehow, I can't explain everything about the human body and the mind, you allow negativity to come into your body. So, hold on a second, I'm just getting my computer up. What is going on? Forces are trying to stop me. This wouldn't surprise me. This happens a lot. Right, so I know this sounds mad. I know this sounds mad in sometimes, but it's true. So abuse causes fear, it causes self-hate, and when you hate yourself, you hate other people. Even unconsciously, I didn't realise that. Unconsciously, and I know it's a horrific thing to say, I don't feel that way anymore, don't worry guys. 2.5 years ago, I hated people because I hated myself. It's all unconscious until I brought it up to the surface of, until I brought it to the conscious mind through getting help and counselling. So a possession takes place when there is an abandonment of self. So when you abandon your true self because you're embarrassed, you're ashamed, and you really feel you're not good enough. That's how I felt. I felt like I felt dirty. That's the best way I can describe it, and that made me furious. It made me so angry. It made me feel like I wanted to kill someone with my bare hands, and I wanted to kill myself. So it's like you're projecting everything out that you feel, and you start seeing it. It starts becoming real. It starts causing you problems with people, dysfunctional relationships. So the possession takes place with the addictions. That's where it gets you. That's where the demon gets you, because it's inside you. And I'm using the word demon because it is a demon. It's like possession, bad spirit, and that comes in the form of self-abuse, self-hate. So what happens is, obviously you're in pain, and because you're in so much pain, you need some relief. What the demon does is it's smart. It tricks you. It says, come over here. And this is what I did years ago. I did this 10 years ago, and I'm going to bring you up to date. So I went and paid for prostitutes, and I thought, oh, it's not that bad, because a lot of men do it, and at the time my friends were doing it. So it finds a way to rationalise the bad things you do. So you go and sleep with prostitutes, the next day you wake up, or the same day, I was saying to myself, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Sorry my language, I can't believe I just did that. I just went to the cash machine and withdrawed, I think it was 70 or 80 pounds, and I paid for sex. How could I do that? And I felt angry towards the prostitutes, but I felt angry towards myself. So that's one of the things I did that I was deeply ashamed of. Another thing was fighting, was violence in my 20s. Even in a small situation where someone looks at me the wrong way, and then it just kicks me off. It's like a demon. It sent me rage, sent me so angry. And I would hit someone in the club, knock them out. Sometimes break the nose. I know it's hard to believe because I'm completely changed. And then go home, wake up, think, why did I do that? And then I'm crying, I'm upset because I feel like such a bully. And then rationalization, oh, but the guy started it. But it's just this pattern, and it's this same demon. So it's prostitutes, it's violence, it's fighting, and then I'm drinking loads of alcohol. And at that time, 10 years ago, I started to take cocaine, I started to take drugs. That's never like me, it's completely out of character. Never liked drugs. All throughout my teens, I played football, I was a sportsman. That was, I think, one of the ways I escaped from shyness and anxiety anyway. So, prostitutes, fighting with people, hitting people, taking cocaine, cannabis. And this is in the 20s, I go back to 19, started drug dealing, got caught for drugs. Now, I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm not trying to play smart. I'm not trying to say that I did all this stuff and I wasn't aware of it, but I wasn't aware of it. And of course, you don't get away with it. So I got caught by the police, and that got washed over. I didn't go to prison, I did community service, and I kind of started to fix my life a little bit better, but a demon kept getting me. So what else happened? Then it became, yeah, I started letting people bully me. So it's interesting that if someone tried to physically, if someone threatened me to the point where it scared me so much, I'd use violence, I'd lash out. But it's such a contradiction. This is what's so strange about it and bizarre. With friends that are around me that obviously wasn't honest, because I wasn't honest, I was wearing a mask, I was allowing them to bully me, I was allowing them to intimidate me, and I wasn't really aware of it on a conscious level. And they knew they were doing it, so they were taking money from me. And it's not like they were saying, give me money now. They're doing it, being smart, being very smart, using flattery, charm, being nice to me. But it wasn't congruent. It was trickery. But I was doing the same back, and I wasn't aware that I was doing that back. So I'm giving money to friends, and I didn't really have the money. I'm buying alcohol. Now bear in mind, I've never enjoyed alcohol. When I say never really, never enjoyed it. I was always kind of wary of drugs and alcohol when I was younger. Started to drink, and the drinking was all escapism from the childhood trauma, and really admitting deep down I'm scared of people. I'm scared of people because I'm frightened of my dad, and my dad is a story that is panning out in the world through my relationships, and then I realise, I go further into it, I'm frightened to come out the house. When I come out the house, I get fast heartbeat, and it's just crazy. And then it comes on to at home. Strong addictions with chocolate, sweets, junk food. And I know that this can sound extreme, because once in a while is okay, but excessively, like going to the shop and spending £10 on, I'm not exaggerating, spending £10 on chocolate bars, Snickers, Twix, tubs of Haagen-Dazs, to numb the pain, to numb this shame and this feeling of feeling disgusting and this anxiety. And all of the addictions, they bring you down, they level you down. So sex will satisfy you. When you let people abuse you for a false sense of friendship or love, that will take you down. But guess what happens after? When all the addictions wear off, when the sugar wears off, when the sexual orgasm or pleasure wears off, when it calms down, when you're socializing with friends and it's not honest, I felt rage. I felt absolute fucking rage. Sorry my language. I felt so angry. I felt so angry with myself, and I started to get paranoid and think, I don't try, and then the distrust comes in, and that for me was the worst one. That's what this demon does. You start looking at everyone looks like they can't be trusted. They physically look like you can't trust anyone. People look different, their eyes change, their facial expressions change. That's going on in the mind, and then you see it everywhere. And then you start to question your sanity. You think, am I going mad? And of course I realised that social anxiety is a mental illness. It is a mental illness because it starts in the mind. So it becomes this, it's a trap. You can't get out of it. And the demon's smart, because you know what the demon will do. Sometimes it will give you some leeway. And when I'm saying the demon, you guys do realise I'm just using a metaphor for the fake you, the false you, that you pretend to be, to stop people bullying you because you're afraid. So what it will do is sometimes it will give you some leeway. You may have a period where you straighten out for a little while. Unconsciously you start realizing that you actually don't want to be dishonest. You don't want to hate people, believe me. You don't want to hate yourself. You don't want to cheat anyone. So you may get I don't know, you kind of get a period where you actually start to work on being honest, and you feel good, and then you get complacent, and then you say, oh, it's okay, just one more beer. Maybe a prostitute here and there doesn't mind. Or once I stopped with the prostitutes, it started going on to casual sex and dysfunctional relationships with women. And then it starts getting you, and then before you know it, the same demon is doing all the things. It's spending your money on prostitutes, it's spending your money on alcohol, it's spending your money, you're giving money to friends for the wrong reason. You are what else is there? Just give me a second, because I'm just kind of get this in order, make this video really clear. I'm thinking off the top of my head. Then you're self-harming yourself. You're angry all the time, and it's cursing you. I do apologise if I'm swearing, but I want to tell the truth so people know that they know I've been through this, and you can overcome it. It's saying stuff like, it's just swearing at me all the time. And then what it will do is it will take you into old stories. It will take you in the past. Then I'm getting a vision of my dad leaning over me, swearing and laying into me, and then that feeling of feeling disgusted and feeling abandoned and feeling awful. And then I'm getting visions of school, when I got bullied at school, and then I'm getting visions of where I've hit people. So you're getting, it's beating you with guilt, shame. It's just destroying you. It's highly intelligent. And guess why it's highly intelligent? Because you created it. You created this demon to protect you from yourself. But in protecting yourself, you're not actually protecting yourself. You're self-sabotaging, you're self-abusing yourself. Then you naturally, well, not then, you attract people exactly like you. I really done research into the patterns of it in my own life, and that's not because it's not actually because you don't fully like the people. You do like them, but the relationship's built on the demon. It's built on the wrong foundations, and unconsciously they know this. So other people with their issues will target you. So these demons are all joining each other. They're building friendships amongst each other. You guys think I'm joking? I'm not joking. I've studied psychology pretty well, very well, I'm being modest. And I've went deep into my psyche, and from teaching I've learnt loads. So you build up a false personality. It's a demon. And I wasn't nice. I wasn't aware I was doing it. And it's very convenient to say, yeah, but I'm not always dishonest. I'm only dishonest sometimes. It's not good enough. Now, I'm not saying, now I've changed, and I'll come to that in the end. You don't ever make mistakes. You do make mistakes, but you don't make mistakes like this, and you're not in that personality no more. So as I said, it takes you into old stories. So you could be sitting anywhere. And it's smart, and you're smart, because the authentic part of you will start crying out. And it's basically crying out for your help. So it may say, maybe I can fix the relationship with my dad or with my mum or with whoever the person abused me. And the demon will say, no, you can't. They'll try and harm you. It won't work. Or don't be so silly, you know, don't be so soft, get on with it. It's what it did to me. So avoidance will come in. It will try everything. It will get you with avoidance. It will get you with flattery. It will get you with rationalization. It will get you with short-term highs, but it won't give you love. Do you know what it's giving you? I don't need the list now. I can memorize. It's sucking your blood. It's not love. It's not love. It's tricking you. And this is where you don't realize you're doing it. And I've seen this pattern with a lot of people that come to me, and I've coached or counseled rather, or mentored in this 2 years since I made this transformation. They will say stuff like, I don't know why I do it, and I don't enjoy doing it. I was doing the same. And a lot of the fear came from the fear of being rejected and judged. Ultimately, it's judgment, rejection, judgment, and abandonment. To some extent, it's really all the same thing. It's just, I suppose, it's the same thing. It's all fear. It's fear of not being loved. It's fear of not being liked. On the flip side of that, guess what's interesting? Guess what the demon will do? And this is what happened to me personally. When I started to develop, or got close to developing a good relationship, and it happened to me on 3 occasions with 3 women, and I fell in love with all 3, and they all fell in love with me. And I'm just saying that. They told me that, and then I felt it. Terrified me. So I became not only afraid of being abandoned by women and people, I was afraid of connection. Petrified of connection. Absolutely terrified. There's an ant there. Terrified of connection. And then a voice demon come up again and say, you're not terrified of connection. What are you talking about? You've picked up loads of women. You're really confident. And then the authentic self's going, but that's not the true me. And it even said to me, but you've taught other people. But I was like, yeah, but I was unconscious. I was so in my own ego, and I didn't know. But when you start waking up, you start seeing it. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. It's soul destroying. It's heartbreaking. But it's good. It's necessary. It's very necessary. And it got to a stage where I thought, I need something to help me this more. I need outside help. I need a mentor. I need someone I can trust. I need someone that I know that is honest. Of course, very grateful to getting Jeff's help. Got Jeff's help, and I knew it after a couple of sessions. I knew that I'm going to take this on. And a few times I thought, I can't deal with this. It's too difficult. I can't cope with it. It's just too much fear. I've got to face too much. I've got to kill myself. I've got to kill that false self. I'm going to lose everything. I'm terrified. I'm going to lose my business. I'm going to lose my relationships. I'm going to lose my confidence. I'm going to lose my personality. I'm going to lose all my strength. That's what I thought. And I'm not joking, guys. There was many periods where I just said, please God, please help me. Please help me. I'm begging you to help me. I can't handle this no more. This came quite in the middle of Jeff helping me. That was when I started to break down. I couldn't help it. I started to cry. I had to submit. I couldn't be strong anymore. It got me. I was just too ashamed. And the more I started to break down, even though I didn't like feeling like that, it's very difficult for me. And it's difficult for me to make these videos and even to admit this, but it's necessary. And I feel good doing this, and I know it's going to help a lot of people. And then the more I started to break down, the stronger I started to feel. So it's weird, isn't it? Before it was all about me not showing I'm weak, showing I'm strong. And it was all about being strong for my dad, because it was all about trying to win the approval of the person that's rejected you. Because to get rejected by one is to get rejected by all. That's quite catchy. I always say stuff without, no, I'm going to say it. To get rejected by one person is to get rejected by all at a particular stage in your life, when you've been psychologically abandoned. And I used to say, but my dad never actually said, I don't like you as a son, I'm abandoning you. Actually, there was times when he did say, oh, I love you, and he showed affection, but didn't believe it. Because this demon makes you think you can't trust your own family. That really hurt me, because I thought, am I crazy? You question your sanity. Then I realised, of course I'm not crazy. I'm very mentally stable. I was going to say mentally disturbed, but I'm just frightened. I'm scared it's a childhood trauma. Then I started to do some research and look at other people that have been abused, and there's such a similar parallel in stories. And of course I felt much better. I thought, I'm not the only one, but I did feel dirty. And it's so interesting, no matter how much success I got, it didn't cover up all of my shame, all of the prostitutes I slept with 10 years ago, all the people that I pulverized with my hands, nearly killed a few people in a few occasions. I was horrified by my temper. I was frightened of myself. And then as I went in further, you go in further, you take away layers of fears. You're like, okay, okay, I'm afraid of people. Then you go further, then you say, actually, I'm afraid of me. I'm actually more scared of me than anyone in the world. So I realised I was more scared of me than my dad. I was scared of that horrible side of me. The side of me that could kill and lash out and just lose my temper. Because it made me feel horrible, it depressed me. And ultimately being afraid, just being afraid to face it. To look at it and go, I'm going to take you on. And I remember 2 years going, I want to tell everyone, I'll tell you guys, because it will selfishly help me and it will help you, it will help thousands. And I remember thinking, I'm not having it anymore. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm going to overcome this social anxiety, and then I'm going to help thousands of people to overcome it. As many people as I can. As many people as I can. And then I went further and I thought, it's not just about social anxiety, it's about getting out of hell. Getting out of this place of dishonesty and distrust and moving into a place of fucking love. A place of integrity and being a decent human being. And that's what I always knew I was. But I knew it was going to be difficult. Because when you start facing it, the demon starts terrifying you. Starts making you so scared. I thought I was going to go mad a few times. I thought it was going to kill me. I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown in my house. I had a breakdown already 2 years ago, but I thought I was physically going to have a breakdown. That's just irrational thinking. It's just an illusion. Then I started to study spirituality, and I became aware that this is just a language. So I know some people start, you know, freaking out, and years ago I didn't believe in devils and demons. I thought it was ridiculous, and I thought it's for people that watch too much sci-fi films and they spend too much time at home. But I'm telling you from my own experience, so you take it however you want it. So then when you start working on it, it does start to feel that people are attacking you. So I'm not going to say names, but family members started to attack me when I started to change for the better. Friends started to attack me. It felt like even strangers, everywhere I was going, I was getting attacked. I started to be terrified. I remember I went to the church, that helped for a while. But I didn't fully do it because I was very skeptical, because I've always been quite an agnostic believer in God. I've went in and out of it according to how I felt, in all honesty. But deep down I did believe in it, and I didn't know how he looked like or what his name is, but I felt something, and that's who I asked for help. I said, please help me, God. If you help me, I promise to pay you back. Is it possible for me to be forgiven for sleeping with prostitutes, for selling drugs, for being a bully, for being violent, to being two-faced, to watching pornography, everything wrong, everything under the book? Thank God didn't murder anyone, thank God. Is it possible for me to be forgiven? Because if I can be forgiven, of course that means other people can. I can forgive my dad. I want to rise above it. I want to go to another level where I want to forgive him. And I want to forgive everyone. That certainly doesn't mean letting people walk all over me. That was part of the forgiveness. So I thought, I'm going to start practicing personal boundaries. So I was still around people that were dishonest, because I still love them. They're my friends. I spent years with these people. They knew me. I was about to say they knew me very well, but they didn't really know me how you guys know me now, how I know myself, but they knew part of me. So I thought, I'm going to prepare for this. When I see behaviour that's not right, I'm going to call them out on it. I just want to see how people are going to react. Is it just in my head? Am I going mad? And of course I was right, because it freaked out. I nearly had a fight with my friend. We nearly got into a punch-up just because I wouldn't be dishonest. There was a situation where I didn't like the way we went out one day, and he was being rude to an elderly woman, a woman that was middle-aged, that was old enough to be my mum and his mum. And I just said, look, I just think it's disgusting the way you spoke to that woman. Please don't do that in front of me. That's not right. I said, you're better than that. And then he tried to get angry. I was just calm. I was going to lose my temper. Thought we were going to have a punch-up. And he took it well, and then he didn't take it well. He got angry, and I stayed calm, and then he calmed down. He apologised, but I could still feel he wasn't used to it, because, you know, maybe before I wouldn't have seen that. Unconsciously I would have just let that go, but I couldn't let someone speak down to a middle-aged woman it could be my mum, it could be his mum. And my friend is actually a lovely person, but he's in a different place. But I'm not judging him, I'm talking about me. And it was the same with a family member. When I said I stopped drinking alcohol, and they started to attack me, started to say, what do you mean you didn't drink alcohol? Started to say, if you become a Christian, you become religious. I just said, look, relax. I said, I want to be an honest person. I'm not saying that you have to give up alcohol. I'm saying that I stopped drinking alcohol, and they questioned me. And I said, do you know why I give up alcohol? Because I said, when I drink alcohol, I start cheating and lying. I start going out and having sex with different women. I feel awful about myself, and then I can't be myself, and I get social anxiety, so I'm stopping alcohol. So I stopped the alcohol, and I started to feel I could breathe. And then I could look people straight in the eye without feeling disgusting, because that's how I used to feel unconsciously, periodically, but it started to become consistent. So stopped drinking the alcohol. I started to feel a lot more socially relaxed and going out the house, and just being aware of the person. And Jeff wouldn't mind me quoting, because I love Jeff's work. He wouldn't mind at all. But I always like to be respectful of other people that have helped me, especially teachers or anyone. And Jeff said something to me that just made me go cold, made me cry. Made me cry. He spoke about his story, and he said, the way I found out who I was by first finding out who I wasn't. And that spoke 1,000 words to me. And of course, meeting Jeff and spending time with Jeff and getting his help, I just knew it. You just feel it. You just feel how caring and loving, how honest someone is. And when I went to the church, I felt that from people. I felt that you could see that people were living with integrity. Made me want to burst out crying and be straight. And many times I did by myself, not in public, at home. And I thought, that's true. And obviously Jeff always spoke about that in the sessions. This is who you're not. And then when I see myself on the BBC, I thought, oh man, can't recognise myself. That person's hideous. I didn't like myself. That's not me. Look how arrogant